TechGig webinar series, an endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our performances and growth as professionals. With this principle in mind, TechGig has initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to get a crisp insight of various domains across IT industry. Today's webinar is 7th in the series and will throw light on UI design patterns and best practices for Android developer. Our guest speaker for today is Mr. Vineet Agrawal from Brick Red Technologies. Mr. Agrawal is technical head and currently heads mobile division at Brick Red Technologies. He is also an Android training specialist and has been developing projects in Android and J2ME since 2004. With an experience of more than 7.5 years in telecom domain, Mr. Agrawal has worked with companies such as Tata Indicom, BSNL 3G, Reliance, and loves to share his knowledge and provide training on Android. I would like to inform you that this presentation will continue for the next 45 minutes and your questions will be taken in the last 15 minutes. Meanwhile, you can post your questions on techgig.com or through the chat available in the webinar software. I would also like to take this opportunity to make a few announcements for our users. We are currently running the biggest online programming contest in India called the Great Indian Programming League, in which you can solve simple puzzles and win exciting prizes daily. Please log on to techgig.com/code contest for further details and participate. TechGig is also hosting logo contest for Happiest Mind Technologies Private Limited. It's open for all professional designers and for the designers at heart too. Submit your entry and stand a chance to win $2,000 in cash. Please log on to techgig.com/logo contest for more details. Now, without further ado, I introduce to you our guest speaker, Mr. Vineet Agrawal.
Good evening, friends. My name is Vineet Agrawal, and today I am here to present my views on UI design patterns and best practices for Android developer. I would like to start with following topics. And the topics are: what is Android, Hello World, layouts. In layouts, we will cover linear layout, relative layout, frame layout, table layout, views, ListView, GridView, Expanded ListView, adapters, creating custom adapters, handler, best practices for efficient user interface, Android application guidelines, user interface design patterns. So what is Android? Android is a mobile operating system initially developed by Android Inclusive, and it's bought by Google in 2005. The Android operating system software stack consists of Java applications running on Java-based object-oriented framework on top of Java core libraries running on Dalvik virtual machine. Android is basically a combination of three components: a free open source operating system for mobile devices, an open source development platform for creating mobile applications, devices particularly mobile phones that run the Android operating system, and the applications creating for it. Open Handset Alliance, a group of 79 technology and mobile companies, have come together to accelerate innovation in mobile and offers consumer a richer, expensive and less expensive and better mobile experience. Android is their first complete open and free mobile platform. Members include mobile operators, handset manufacturers, semiconductor companies, software companies, and commercialization companies like Wipro and Sasken. You can learn more about Open Handset Alliance at openhandsetalliance.com. Android provides developer a lot of opportunities. If we speak about iPhone and other platforms, so there are limited opportunities for developers. Like in iPhone, we have Apple App Store only. But if we speak about Android, we have numerous application stores for developers where developers can earn money. Some of them are Google App Store, Vodafone 360, Verizon App Store, Telenor App Store, Amazon and App Store, Samsung, AppSlip, SlideMe, Handango, and more. Now I would like to take your view towards Hello World. That's the basics of Android. The idea here is to provide some view to developers who don't know Android. So here is our Hello World program. If we speak about this Hello World program, so you can see that we have a class called Hello World, in which we are extending an activity class. Activity is only foreground component in Android. Every Android program starts with a call to onCreate. It's just like a main method in Java. Android has one more major thing, that we have an XML layout, and we can call components via XML layout by using set content view. So you can see that we have a main.xml in layout folder, and you can view that we have a component called linear layout. It's a layout structure, we will speak about it, and a text view to display a text. Then we have some folders like doable HDPI, doable LDPI, doable MDPI. The idea of these folders to enhance portability. Then we have Android manifest.xml. The Android manifest.xml is a core of Android development system. You can see that we have an activity name here as Hello World. So every activity is defined in Android manifest.xml. An activity having these two lines with intent filter, Android.intent.action.main will be your first activity. You can add as many activities in Android manifest.xml file. If we run this program, so we will get the following output. You can see that we got a text string hello world, hello world. And this is a string we have defined in our main.xml. We have a string.xml in Android where we can find all the strings. So you can see that the string name hello is hello world, hello world. So this is the basic of the Android, any Android program. Our next topic is layouts. If we speak about layouts, layout is the architecture for the user interface in an activity. It holds all the elements that appear to the user. We can declare our layouts in two ways, by declaring UI elements in XML or by creating UI elements programmatically. We have following layouts in Android: linear layout, relative layout, frame layout, tab layout, and table layout. So let's see a program, a real-time program for it to understand linear layout better. Here is our linear layout program. You will see a bunch of buttons like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and edit text box. So I have presented two views in this program, that's hello linear layout.java. We have just a switch case in which I have defined two ways. First is by using an XML layout, and second is by using code. So if we speak about XML layout, you can see that we have a main.xml file here, insert content view. So we have defined a linear layout, and we have defined an orientation as vertical. What does it mean? That the components will be arranged in vertical format. Then we have a component called layout width and height, defined as fill parent. Under this linear layout, we have one more linear layout to define the components as in horizontal way. We have given a top margin as 20 pixels. Under this, we have a edit text box. So the edit text box which you have seen in the program. So the edit text box, with the help of edit text box, you can type a text. So like you can type any text here. So you can see that we have a ID called Android ID. The idea of this ID is to call the ID text box in your program. Then we have some parameters like layout width and height. You can see that in height we have defined wrap underscore content, because we are defining a limited amount of space for edit text box. Then we have text color and layout weight. After this, we have a second linear layout component in which we are defining a buttons. So you can see a series of buttons in the program. So we have a first button, and then in this button we have defined a string. You can see in the string.xml we have defined strings for all the buttons. You can see that we have defined strings for all the buttons as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are arranging a layout weight property to arrange buttons in a uniform manner, and a text color as black. Then we have another layout. Then we have another layout. So after this, in typical manner, we define another buttons. Now what we are doing, that we are calling a button 1 by using a find view by ID method in the program. So what find view by ID does, it calls a button from your XML layout in your program by using the ID which we defined in your main.xml. You can see that this ID as B1. So using this ID, we call this program, call this component in the program. We also call edit text box. So what we are doing here, that on clicking the button 1, we are setting the edit text box as string r.string as B1. What does it mean? That if you click, so you can see that if you click in the button 1, so 1 appears here. So the idea is to, now on clicking of button, we can just view text on edit text box. We have done same thing by using a class called hello linear code. So you can see here we have just defined the linear layout classes, buttons, edit text, and a reference to hello linear layout.java. We are just defining the methods here, setting the layout parameters, then setting the orientation, then creating edit text box. We have a layout parameters class Then we are setting the margins and adding the container to our main linear layout. Similarly, we are doing for other containers. And at the end, we are adding it to a parent container. You can see here that we add all the containers in the parent container. And if I run this program also, so you will get the same output. You can see it's installing the APK file. So the idea of this program is to display the functionality of Hello Linear Layout. And now it's starting the activity. So you can see the same type of output again happens, again appear. So that's all about Hello Linear Layout. Our next example is frame layout. Now frame layout is now we can use frame layout to display image in frames or some textual content in frames. So just showing you an output over this. You can see a burning candle in this output. So what we have done, that we have just defined and call an image view and call its and call the image view using a find view by ID. We define this frame layout again in our layout file in main.xml. So we just define a frame layout and then we define an image view in which you can see that we have a source image 8. So we have this image file here, image8.jpg, and then we define a text view, the burning candle, in which we define some text colors and size and styles. On clicking the image, you can see a toast. Basically, toast is an alert in Android, so which we can display for 3 or 4 seconds. So that's all about Hello frame layout. Our next example is a complex one, Hello relative layout. Relative layout is one of the major layout structure in Android. I have 2 type of codes here, and I will also show you that how to create an efficient relative layout in this program. So first we will call this main.xml in this we will first call signin.xml. So let's see what the output. So you can see that in this relative layout we have also used a table layout. So what we are doing here, that we have a relative layout in which we define a background component. With the help of relative layout, you can arrange components relative to each other, and that's what we are doing here by using a relative layout component. So what we have done, that we have done a first relative layout component, then we show a second relative layout component in which we define an ID, and in that we define some width, height, some margins, and we place it below to the parent component. Then we define a text view. So you can see that's the output. It's a user authentication screen in which you can enter username and password and now press a submit button. So we have just defined a text view, and then we are using a table layout to create a structure. So in this table layout, we have each table layout is used to arrange components in a table based structure. So in table layout, we have table rows. So in our first table row, we have a text view and edit text. So in text view, we have a username and this edit text box. Similarly, for a second table row, we have a password and edit text box. Then we define a relative layout to show this checkbox. And then we have a button in another relative layout. Now if we speak about this program, you will see that there are a lot of relative layouts. What happens that developers create a lot of layouts, and it affects the performance of the program. The same program we can create via this also. We are using a new XML file called main.xml now, and we will display the same output, and I will show you that how to create the same program with less layouts and in more efficient way. You can see in previous program we have 4 relative layouts and 1 table layout, but now we are using only 2 relative layouts. So we have a parent relative layout in which we are defining the background, and then we have a child relative layout in which we are defining a text, 2 text views with your sign in and username, then edit text box, then again text view, and then we have an edit text box below the text view and a checkbox and then a button. So what we are doing here, that in relative layout we have property called layout underscore below. With the help of this property, we are arranging components one below each other, and you can see the output is same. So what I recommend that search for ways in which you can create less layout components, and it will improve the performance of your program. We will see more in efficient user interface. So that's all about relative layout. Our next program is Hello ListView. ListView is a major component, and if we speak about views, so we have following views. View objects are the basic unit of user interface expression on the Android platform. A view object handles its own measurement, layout, drawing, focus change, scrolling, and key gesture interactions for the rectangular area of the screen in which it resides. We have following views: text view, image view, grid view, list view, and expandable list view. So grid view is used to arrange components in a grid-based format. List view is used to arrange component in list format. Expandable list view, we will also see that how you can create multiple lists in one list view. So we have this following program for you. Hello ListView. You can see that a list in which we have a bunch of name of fruits arranged in a list format. So let's see how we have created this list view. Before focusing more on list view, I would like to show you that what are adapters. Adapters are building classes that bind data to views, such as list views, used in user interface. The adapter is responsible for creating a child views used to represent each item within the parent view and providing access to the underlying data. Views that support an adapter binding must extend the adapter view abstract class. We have two useful native adapters. Array adapter. The array adapter uses generics to bind an adapter view to an array of objects of the specified class. By default, the array adapter uses the toString value of each object in the array to create and populate text views. We have one more adapter called simple cursor adapter that attaches view specified within a layout to a column of cursors written from content providers. Basically, it's more used for storage-based mechanisms. So we will focus more on array adapter. So this is a simple ListView program. So you can see that we are calling r.array.fruit_array. So here it is. We have defined this array in string.xml. So we have a string array called fruit array, in which we have defined all the name of the fruits. We then load the string resources into array by using a string array by get resources.get string array. We are now using setlist adapter. The idea of using setlist adapter is to bind the adapter to your list. So you can see that we have a layout called r.layout.fruit_item. This layout decides that how the components will you will view the components. So you can see that we just have a text view, in which text size is 14 points and it's fill parent. So this is the way, and we have set the title as normal list view. So this is the way we define a simple list adapter. Now we will come to grid view. Before that, there is one more program for you. It's an icon-based list view. Developers ask a lot of time that how to create an icon-based list. So this is called a custom list view by extending an adapter. So what we have done that we have called my custom adapter the class. So let me run this program for you. So this is our my custom adapter. So we are extending a base adapter class, which is super class of all adapters, and we are using a get view. So you can see that we are inflating. We have created a layout inflator. So and by using an inflator, we are inflating a view with the main.xml, r.layout.main. Here we are defining a custom adapter. So we have defined a fruit array, and in which we have defined a labeled as text view and then an image view. So you can see the output that we have one image and one text view. So whenever you need to, you can see that we have one image view and one text view. So whenever you need to create more than one views in a list, you have to use custom adapter. I would like to show some screens as example to you. So this is one program in which we have one image view and two text views. So what we have done that here we just created a simple list view and icon-based list view, and the custom adapter we have got a image view, and then in a linear layout we created two text views in vertical format. Another example is this. So you can see there are 4 components, 2 image views, one is this, second one is this, and 2 text views. So again we have just used a image view and then a linear layout based structure, and arranging the components first in horizontal format and then vertical format. We have also based a choice. As you can see that we have the layouts in on one, and this image comes in the first and third list. This is one of the major app, TripAdvisor. It's a famous app on Android market. So you can see that we have this text views, and then we can arrange them in, by using linear layout and relative layouts, and we can easily develop them. So next in the series is Expandable ListView. Now Expandable ListView is that sometimes what happens that you need to create a list within a list. So for this we have Expandable ListView. What we have to do, just we need to extend the Expandable List activity class for this, and we have a special adapter called base Expandable List adapter. We have to define 2 arrays. In the first array we have to name the parent list. So you can see this is a parent list, people names, dog names, cat names, and then we can just and this is a second list. So we can just create a one hierarchy based list. We can't have a list hierarchy from more than one. In the second array you can see that we have all the children's. So this program is similar to our previous program. Only difference is that we have get child view and get group view. In the child view we have our child views arranged, and in a group view we are arranging our text our group views. So that's all about list view and expandable list view. Now I would like to show you that how to create a grid. So this is a typical example of grid view, in which you are using just a grid view class and basic, and you setting the by using and set adapter. So you have a custom adapter class in which we are just defining adapter. Same way defining a list view and grid view is somewhat similar. So you can see just we define an image view, and we can just make a grid view very easily. We just need to define a simple adapter, and again we are just calling an array from get resources. So this is our program. So you can see that we have a series of images and some text below it. So we have covered custom adapters. So custom adapters, as I told you, that with the help of getView method you can construct, inflate and populate the views that will display within parent adapter view class. Now I would like to tell you about handler. Handler allows you to send and process a message and enable objects associated with a thread message queue, and each handler instance is associated with a single thread and thread message queue. When you create a new handler, it is bound to thread message queue of the thread that is creating it, and will deliver message and enables to the message queue and execute them as they come out of message queue. Handler helps you to avoid expensive operations in UI thread. So the idea here is to avoid more working in UI thread, that's our main thread. So there is a small example for handler in which we are showing a progress bar. here is our splash.java. So what we are doing here, that we are just creating a progress dialog, and in onCreate, we first define our main.xml. So let's see the output first. Let me run it for you again. So what you will see a screen, and after some seconds you will see a progress dialog. After that progress dialog, this burning candle will come. So the idea here is to do less work in UI thread and make our program as fast as possible. So you can view a small screen, and after loading you will see that burning flame. So what we have done, that we separate our main code and define a simple handler to avoid operations in your handler. So we are defining a simple progress dialog, and then we are defining a new thread, and we are making the thread sleep for 5 seconds, and then after that we are dismissing the dialog and finishing that activity, and then we are starting a next activity to call your new activity, that is hello frame layout.class. Now we will come for our best practices for efficient user interface. As shown in the previous program, I would like to recommend that please don't block UI thread. Use handler to avoid expensive operation in UI thread. Manually threads are error prone, so you can use asynchronous task to take care of thread management. This class allows you to perform background operations and publish results on a UI thread without having to manipulate threads or handlers. So there is a small snippet. It's like you can just extend the asynchronous task class, and then we have a do in background method, and you can just do all the processing background and publish the results. Another recommendation is please do p-scaling of bitmap instead of runtime scaling when required. A small code snippet is like you can just rescale an original image to size of view using bilinear filtering for better results. So you can just create a bitmap.create scale bitmap, and use get width and get height properties to do p-scaling. We have done an example of ListView. So you can also create efficient adapters for ListView. So how to create an efficient adapter for ListView? For that you can use a simple view holder class. So this we can study in this efficient adapter. So you can see that to work efficiently the adapter, we have used two techniques. We first use the convert view to pass get view to avoid inflating view whenever it's not necessary. Secondly, we use view holder pattern to avoid calling find view by ID when it's not necessary. The view holder pattern consists of storing a data structure in the tag of view returned by get view. This data structure contains reference to the views we want to bind data to, thus avoiding calls to find view by ID every time get view is invoked. So what we have done, that we have defined a view holder class, and in this view holder class we are just inflating the layout, and we are defining the parameters like this. You can see that there is a static class called view holder. The standing class is a static class, is a view holder. This text view and image view. Then we are using a holder, and just to set the tag of folder to that convert view, and we bind the data efficiently with the holder. With the help of this technique, you can improve your program performance, and this is one of the major practices to improve your program dynamics. Another recommendation is to use compound variables. So you can see, like I have defined a linear layout in a vertical format, and we have an image view and text view, and I can convert the same program in this way by using a drawable left property in text view. So with the help of this, we can remove this component and image view component, and with the help of this, your performance of program will increase. So what I will suggest that try to use less components, and also try to use less layout structures, so it will improve the performance of your UI. I will also like to share some application guidelines. An application guide on Android app should be fast and efficient as it run on mobile device with limited computing power and storage and constant battery life. We have some performance techniques like avoid creating short-term temporary objects. So as Java developers must know that less temporary objects, and your program will be more efficient. You can use static final for constants, and the floating point is slower than integer on Android devices, so use only them when required. An Android application should be responsive, so an application must respond to any user action such as key press or screen touch within 5 seconds. A broadcast receiver must return from its own receive handler within 10 seconds. So the most likely culprits in case of unresponsiveness are network lookups, complex processing, file input-output. Seamlessness is one of the major application guidelines, which means a consistent user experience. So we can avoid seamlessness problems. If your application needs to perform some expensive or long-running computation, you should probably move it to new thread. This will prevent your application not responding dialog from being displayed to user. Don't overload a single activity screen. When designing the screens of your user interface, be sure to make use of multiple activity object instances. This will make your code a lot more maintainable in the long run. Action system themes. Design your user interface to work with multiple screen resolutions. Assume the network is slow, so always code your applications for minimal network accesses. The Android security model restricts access to certain services and functionality by forcing application to declare the permissions they require. During installation, users are shown the application required permissions before they are committed to installing it. So we need some things like we need to require permissions. For example, for Bluetooth, SMS, and for anything we need to have permissions. And for internet, like we have Android or permission or internet which we have to define in manifest file. Our next topic is user interface design patterns. So we will study the following patterns: dashboard, action bar, search bar, quick actions. So this is a UI design pattern called dashboard. So you can see that this pattern will give you a quick intro to an application, revealing capabilities and highlighting the new properties. It's a full screen, and it can be organized by features, categories, and accounts. So here it's a kind of dashboard, and it gives your user a major place where he can view all the components at one place. So you can see that we can view updates, friends, my profile, everything at same place. The second type of UI design pattern is action bar. So this now UI design pattern is used in number of Android programs. So you can see a dedicated place to support navigation frequently used operations. You can replace a title bar, can provide a quick link back to dashboard. Our next UI design pattern is quick actions. So this quick action pattern is useful for basically I would like to suggest that is basically useful for like social networking based applications in which you can you have to do a quick actions. So now you can see that action pop-up triggered from distinct visual target and it's minimally disruptive to screen context. Actions are also straightforward. So users don't distract due to this UI design pattern and they find themselves attached to the user interface. Another common UI design pattern which have been used in an application these days is search bar. So we have consistent pop-in search form anchored to top of screen. We can replace action bar and replace the action bar and we can support suggestions. So I would like to end a session for this and now we have to present we will see the questions. So I would like to ask a question basically. So there's a question that how to manage UI design for Android devices like small phone and big table is by Mr. Biz Kishore Rajput. So the answer for is that to make the application portable, we can make an application portable by using drawable folders. So you can have different screen sizes basically. So like if we speak for about tablets, so tablet supports most of tablets currently support high density skins and your phones support medium density skins, so you can create graphics for them. Why we use toast method is by Ritesh Sharma. So toast method is used to display a small alerts whenever you want to use display a small alert in a program. So you can use a toast method. For example, like you just can click and you want to give user some information. So you can just click. You can just display a small message. Our next question is. The question is that could you please send this PPT for our reference is from Mr. Rajesh Kumar. So we will be uploading this PPT on our on techgeek.com. So you can now you can view that PPT. There is question from Mr. Amit that can you please show the manifest file for permissions required at installation time. So here is a manifest file. So you can just view this manifest file and for permissions like for internet based permissions you have to give android.permission.internet. Then there's a question from Mr. Mitra for recommending any books or online sources. So I would recommend that you can go for there's a book called Rocks Programmers and Pro Android 2. So this is a very good book on Android side. And I would also recommend that you should go for developer.android.com. So you will get a lot of information from that. And our next question is There is a question between what is the difference between asset and resource by Mr. Anil Sisodia. So asset is a folder for basically to create to have some components like some font-based components. You can just keep those components at asset folder. And in resource folder you create all the resources. Then there is a question from yeah, how the UI can be supported for device-based features like accelerometer. So the question is currently out of context for this PPT, but still I would like to answer. For this, you need to have a app for basically a sensor-based app, and UI can UI can be created according to a sensor-based app. And then we have a question for how we can is there a design pattern for large set of data, example stock prices, by Mr. Arvind. So I would like to suggest that typically for large set of data like stock prices and all, so we should have a we should arrange them a good arrange in a list view, and we should have a sex-based parser to pass the XML components. Basically, when you get a large set of data, so you need to have some XML, and then you can get the data in XML format or JSON format, and then you can pass the data and you can store them in a list view by using AI list, or you can store them in providers and all. So the best design component is in a list view, recommended. So there question from Mr. Nikhil that do more background images slow the app? Yeah, Nikhil, you are totally right. More the images, more the application will be slow. In Android, although we have a luxury of large sizes, but still, I would recommend that please have your images in PNG format and have them saved for web. So in this way, your image size will be low and your app will be faster. The next question is from Mr. Ritesh Sharma. That is, what is the difference between Android-based phone and Windows-based phone? So in Android-based phone, we have Android operating system, and in Windows-based phone, we have currently we are coming with Windows operating system like Windows Phone. Then we have question from Mr. Vivek Kumar that can we get extra video and source code of this session? So it will be uploaded to techgeek.com. Mr. Naga has asked that do we have any ID specifically for Android UI development that we can generate code which can generate code, etc. Google recommends that you should use Eclipse. We can also use IntelliJ IDEA, and generation of code. If you want to do some generation of code, so I will also recommend that you can use Titanium Toolkit. So, so for that you can just have a JavaScript format and the code will be automatically generated. But still I will prefer Eclipse. And then there is a question from does the version of Android impact the UI design decisions? Well, this is the major advantage of Android. Most of the current version are supportable for all the basic UI design patterns. But in Honeycomb 3.0, that is designed for tablets, we have some more UI luxuries, and if you use that Honeycomb, so you can create a better UI, but it's for tablets only. So in Java file we have used r.id. This question by Mr. Nikita, Miss Nikita, sorry. So basically R class is used to R class. In R class we have IDs of all the layouts and your strings and all. So it's a place where we keep all the indexes. Key difference between Java ME apps and Android apps by Mr. Mitra. The major difference is porting. If you are Java ME programmer, so you must have seen that there is a lot of fragmentation. But when we come to Android, so porting decisions are very much easy. Then there is a question from Mr. Ritesh that why you use Eclipse rather than NetBeans. For this I would like to answer that Eclipse is recommended by Google also, but I would like, it's a own ways you can use NetBeans also, but Eclipse is more favorable. Then there is a question from Mr. Utkarsh that where to develop Android programs and editor. So you can use Eclipse IDE, and it's best to develop Android programs. Latest version of Android is comes at 3.1. So I suppose it's for tablets, and then for we have 2.4 for mobile devices. So it's come up with some open device access APIs. So it's so a lot of advances are coming in Android applications. Then is a question by Mr. Avinash that finish is to end the activity, but it ends the application sometimes. So what is the reason? So I would like to say that see finish is end to finish ends the activity, but it depends that where you have called the finish. So it depends upon the place. And then there's a question from Mr. Babu that any tool for conversion of Android code to iPhone. You can. I would like to suggest that Titanium toolkit. And by using that, you can create portable programs, cross-platform apps. Then we have a question from Mr. Nikhil. Is there any other way than relative layout for targeting multiple Android devices? Yeah, you can use any layout. You can use linear layout, table layout, any layout, but relative layout is recommended because you can have a luxury of engine components. Then question is from Mr. Utkarsh, is Android only for mobile development? So I will suggest that the answer is no. And basically Android is currently coming for mobile and tablets, but soon coming out for TVs also. Then there's a question from Mr. Ankit that how would I handle a normal keyboard and QWERTY keypad on phone? What changes I have to make in code? So for that you have to do some keyword properties. For that Ankit, I would like to send a code snippet to your email ID. And the last, I would like to take a last question from Mr. Naga. Do we have any ID specific for Android UI development that which can generate code, etc.? Previously there was a toolkit called DroidDraw, but still if you use, I would suggest that for Android UI development you use simple XML layout. It would be better. So that's all from my side, friends. So if you have any question, you can mail at techgeek.com and I would be there to answer. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Agrawal, for your session. It was indeed an enlightening session. I would also like to thank our participants for their support in making the webinar a huge success. The recording of this webinar will be available on techgeek.com along with your queries answered. You can mail your questions to techgeek.com. Also, our next webinar will focus on user experience design process for product development. Our guest speaker will be Ms. Sonali Agrawal, reputed user experience design consultant and CEO of East Village Interactives, as well as director of MobiQuick. Before signing off, just a reminder of our earlier announcements. India's biggest online programming contest, the Great Indian Programming League, is currently on at techgeek.com. For more information and participation, you can log on to techgeek.com/code-contest, solve simple puzzles, and win exciting prizes daily. Also, Happiest Mind Technologies Private Limited logo contest is also on at techgeek.com. It is open for all professional designers as well as designers at heart. Submit your entry and stand a chance to win $2,000 in cash. You can log on to techgeek.com/logo contest for more information. See you all on next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Thank you.